Hey guys, this is Comics G-Man, and we're going to do another Doom Patrol video. This one's going to be about Season 2, and what I enjoyed about it, and what was so great about it. So please stay tuned, and the show will begin starting now. Alright guys, so let me start. Right, Season 2, we'll go through the episodes like I did in the last one. So, Episode 1 was the fun-size patrol. Niles and Larry work to enlarge the miniaturized Doom Patrol while Dorothy's peculiar powers make themselves known. So this is where we get to know more about what's going on with Dorothy. And the funny thing is, it leaves off from the last season, Season 1, where they had their fight with Mr. Nobody inside of the white space, the painting. And when they came out, they hid themselves inside the giant cockroach that was attacking them in the town throughout all of that. And Mr. Nobody had to end up like helping them. So his way of helping them was miniaturizing them into the cockroach and then bringing the cockroach back into reality. So he's a little cockroach in real life, and then they break out of his belly and come back to real life. But everybody is still like extremely small, and they don't know how to fix it. So this episode, they're literally living inside like a toy, like in Season 1, Cliff and them were making it throughout the whole years of living inside of Niles' mansion. They were making a toy set, a race car set, a whole town. So in this, they're actually living inside of that like little toy set for themselves. So everything around them is like toys. It's really funny, and it's kind of a nice episode because it's like they're camping out. The only guy who isn't Minnie is Larry. Larry is taking care of them by cooking them up some like mini pancakes and shit and mini food and giving it to them while they're living in there. And yeah, man, there are a lot of good stuff in episode 1. Let me see here. It's so dark. You know what I noticed? I ended up buying the Blu-ray versions of Doom Patrol. Because I'm watching on HBO Max, and the definition is terrible, honestly. Like, it says HDR, but it's clearly not HDR, and HDR is shit. I don't understand why people make such a big deal about HDR. I'm fine with just, 4K or 1080p without the HDR. It looks fine. So I bought the Blu-rays of the Doom Patrol series because I was getting kind of tired of the stream. And the definition is just great on the Blu-rays. I mean, they're 1080p standard, right? But they look fantastic. Like, this is how the show, I think, is meant to be watched through the Blu-ray. There's no 4K, just DVD and Blu-ray, so I got the Blu-ray editions of all of them. We're up to Season 3 right now. But yeah, there's a lot of really nice moments in here. There's a part where you find out like Cliff leaves the toy set for a while, and he goes in through the mansion while he's a little guy, and he's like fighting these mice in the house. Like he leaves a little bit of cheese for them, and then they come out, and then he fucking punches them. Like he's angry about the big giant rat that he was inside of, that he got eaten by in Season 1, I guess. And he's like taking out this anger on the rat, and also the anger of like, everybody found out that Niles created all of them and ruined all of their lives, basically. But Dorothy at one point wants to go feed the rats. She doesn't know what Cliff is doing, and she gets traumatized at one scene. It's a really great scene, actually. I don't know. I think it happens in this episode. I'm pretty sure. And look, even on the desktop site, it's an HDR, and it looks terrible. Like, it's so dark, I could barely see what's going on. But on the Blu-ray versions, they're so colorful, and it looks perfect. It looks perfect. Right, so what's this? What's going on here? This is the scene, pretty much, where they're like, oh shit, where's Dorothy? And like, Cliff is like, oh, she must be going to the mice. We better go find her. And this is where like it's really crazy because the rat is like a mother, and she has like little babies and stuff. Right? I can't even get it. But anyway, she has like little rat babies, and all the babies are feeding off of the mother. And there's a little mouse baby that's like not really with it, and it's kind of crawling away, and it doesn't seem like it knows what to do. And they witness the mother take the weak little mouse baby and like devours it in front of them, and it fucking traumatizes Dorothy. And it's so funny because Cliff like she's like freaking out, and Cliff like takes her, picks her up, and like here he is, like he's running with her. And I just thought it was hilarious because like it just felt so like genuine. Like this feels like if you were like a father in that situation, like you'd be acting like a maniac and like running away like that. Like it was so funny. This episode was so funny. But eventually how they get out of this situation is Niles makes a deal with the magician character, and it turns out, we find out that the reason why Niles has been immortal has not been through any means of science or whatever. It's been through this medallion that he wears. So he's technically like 113 years old and still going with no problems really, except that he's crippled. But basically, he makes the deal with the magician to bring everybody back to their regular size, and he gives the magician the necklace that's been keeping him immortal pretty much. So, Niles is slowly, naturally dying at that point. So then episode 2, The Time Patrol. Cliff, Jane, and Rita pursue a time-altering doctor in their reluctant quest to help Niles. So this is like a really like LSD episode. So they have to go back to find this guy, Dr. Time, and he's literally a guy with a clock on his head. And it's not like he's wearing a helmet. Like his head is literally a clock. Now if I could find it, yeah, there's like these weird like he has went through all time and space, and he has gathered like every historical figure and collected them, and he's like forced them to live in like the 70s, and they're just doing like an infinite disco ball. It's really funny. And Rita tries to eventually get what's inside of his head. They need that like to figure out how to make Niles live long without the medallion. And it's inside of Mr. Dr. Clock's head, the goo that he is inside his head. And she like uses her plastic stretchy arms and grabs him and accidentally like cracks his head open. And she's like, "Oh my god, I didn't realize that was actually your head." And she kills him, and then she like goes back in time to undo the mistake. But yeah, a lot of wacky stuff in this episode for sure. I mean, you have to watch these ones to really understand it. Oh, this is just Jane when she was a little girl as Miranda, and they were trying to like exorcise the personalities out of her body because they thought they were demons. Didn't work. And she's telling her mother like the only way you'd never be able to forgive yourself because you let basically my father like she lets the father do things to her basically. So that's what's going on there. And here they're just looking through some videos. Oh shit, this was a big episode too. Was this after he visited his yeah, okay, so this is the episode where Larry finds out that his son, Gary, kills himself. He commits suicide in this. And the negative spirit is showing Larry memories of when he was young and his sons were still kids. And he was kind of like a little bit of a dick to his son, Gary. Like his son, Gary, would build him the spaceship that he was going in, that he exploded in. But he was giving him like the spaceship before he went on the mission. And Larry, instead of being like, "Oh son, that's great, thank you, blah blah blah," he's like, "Oh, that's fine and all, but you got the propeller wrong, and this is wrong, and this is, you have to take that off if you want your dad to survive." Like he was being a dick to his son about it. And the negative spirit was kind of showing him like what's going on with that son now. And Gary with the mother was like, they didn't believe that the father was dead all these years, and he went nuts about it, and he ends up committing suicide. So he goes to the funeral, and he meets Paul, who's the surviving son. Paul has his son and then another son. So he's like a great grandfather at this point, Larry, and he hasn't met any of these people, and he hasn't seen Paul since Paul was like a child. So everything seems like it's normal. Like Paul is accepting him again, and they're letting Larry come back into their life. And Larry visits them, but he doesn't feel right doing it throughout it. And it's like some really great acting moments in here. And I'm not sure if the reveal happens in this episode. I don't think it does. No, it doesn't happen in this episode. He's with his son for a while. This is his son, Paul. And, obviously they foreshadow it here, but basically in the next episode, when Larry goes back to visit him, his son, Paul, like, ends up working for the Department of Normalcy, and he tries to, like, get Larry back and put him back in that prison in the Department of Normalcy. So his son basically betrays him in the next episode. But there's some really wacky stuff that happens in episode 3 that's really awesome that I can't wait to talk about. So, like, it ends episode 2 with Larry leaving and, like, hitchhiking. He's, like, out in the middle of nowhere here. And all of a sudden, all of these, like, fucking... Oh, let me fix that. All of these freaking butterflies just, like, go around him. And we don't know why until, like, episode 3. So episode 3 is really awesome. Pain Patrol. Niles, Rita, and Larry end up in the clutches of an infamous villain who feeds upon pain while Cliff visits his daughter. So this was like a really good episode. I mean, for me it was, because there's this villain called Red Jack that shows his face, and he tries to make a deal with Niles. So since Niles now is naturally dying and he has no more immortality since he gave his necklace to the magician, Red Jack is like this dimensional, demonic, evil being. And, like, we even see a cool flashback when Niles was a child in, like, the late 1800s, and during Jack the Ripper's time in London. I think it was the late 1800s. I'm probably fucking up the date on that, but whatever. It's, like, basically during Jack the Ripper's time. So you see Niles as a child in this episode for, like, not long, like maybe 5 minutes. And, like, there's a woman being chased by something in the fog, and she's screaming, and she falls to her face, and Niles is not afraid, and he sees, like, this freakish demon being. Let me see if I can even find it. That awesome flashback. I think it's, like, right in the beginning of the episode. I'm pretty sure. I don't know how to shut off the HDR on HBO Max. It's really annoying, because the HDR just looks terrible. It looks absolutely terrible. Just about Cyborg's romance. Let me go on. Larry. Where is that scene? I think this is the episode where Cliff visits his daughter, but it doesn't work out well. Like, he goes on a road trip, drives 3,000 miles with Crazy Jane alone to see his daughter, and she doesn't want to see him. Like, she closes the door on his face, she calls the cops on him. He's, like, waiting outside on the bus all day until the nighttime, and eventually Crazy Jane, like, talks him back to, like, going home. So there's that whole thing. He fucks that up. But Clara does eventually see him, because the chief sends her a VHS tape of what he did to Cliff. Here's the murderous being, Red Jack. He's trying to make a deal with Niles here. That HDR is... I don't know why people like HDR. It's terrible. I'd rather take a more pixelated, colorful, bright image than a dark and, like, blurry, kind of dull image, which is HDR every time. Every time I watch something in HDR, it's a duller version of the actual film. That's just how I feel. But yeah, anyway, Red Jack is like this demonic... let me just type it in real quick. Doom Patrol Red Jack. So it's kind of a cool like lore thing too, where it's basically saying, oh yeah, Jack the Ripper was this guy. And I guess he's probably like a really big villain in the Grant Morrison run. But I have the comics. They did come in. I will make a video about that when I have time. But I guess in the Grant Morrison run, Red Jack is a big villain because he's on a lot of the covers. So that's how he looks in the comics, right? Really cool character. I don't know what he's like in the comics. Haven't read it yet. Like I said, I'm just reading the Silver Age stuff right now. I got tired of reading the black and whites. I decided to get the color omnibus, which is coming in tomorrow. And I got that for a great deal, half off on Amazon. Unbelievable. But yeah, let me get the real guy in the show. HBO Max, whatever. If they even have an image of him. Yeah, I mean, this is the best I could get. So look, this is how they made him look in the show. Really cool design. So like they kind of went all the way except half so you could still see his face. And you know what he reminded me of? If you ever played Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, and if you ever see Andre the Chamisky, I don't even know how you say it, one of the coolest villains in the game. This guy, in the Vampire the Masquerade game, Andre is what they call a blood weaver. He basically kills his victims and molds them into like these monstrous like machines that he uses to kill his foes and stuff. That's what the Chamisky clan is. So yeah, like, dude, Red Jack reminded me of this guy. He was only in one episode, so they didn't make him that big of a villain that he probably should have been. Now, season 2 came out in 2020, and I'm pretty sure like it got cut short or something must have happened because of what happened in 2020, right? We all know. Like one example of that, if you ever watched the Godfather of Harlem with Forrest Whitaker, 2020 happened, and I think they didn't make another season for like 2 or 3 years. So it looked like that happened to Doom Patrol because it looked like they had all these ideas in season 2, but they weren't given time because season 1 had fucking 15 glorious episodes for one season, from like 45 minutes to 60 minutes straight. It was glorious. Now I love season 2. Don't get me wrong, but season 2 is only, what is that, like only 9 episodes. So they got fucked. They got fucked, man, by 2020. I believe so. Which is a shame because I think if 2020 didn't go the way it did for all of us, Doom Patrol probably, season 2 would have had like 15 fucking glorious episodes, and we probably would have had like more Red Jack. So that would have been fucking awesome, you know, but you can't have got everything. So there's like this crazy stuff going on, and Red Jack, what he does to his victims, he needs your pain. He thrives off of pain. So you see all of these scenes of his mansion and all these different torments and tortures that he's doing on all these different people. He's torturing Larry. He has Larry hung up in a room, and Larry has his bandages taken off, and he's irradiated. So all the people around him are like dying of his radiation in front of him, and he's like hung up by his arms with hooks and shit. And Rita comes to save him, and it's like such a great moment when she saves him. They're just about to die. Like their torment is reaching the peak that Red Jack needs, and once they reach that peak of pain, they are supposed to turn into a butterfly, and all the victims of Red Jack become butterflies, and he has them like all hung up on the walls as butterflies. It's really fucking crazy. So Niles defeats Red Jack by taking his own hook and sticking it in his chest, and Red Jack dies in like one episode. So I'm sure he's a bigger character in the comics, and I'm sure the TV show had bigger ideas, but they were obviously constrained. You know, shit was happening. It wasn't working out. But it doesn't mean it was a bad episode. It was an awesome, awesome episode. Like, really some crazy stuff. Seeing Rita grow butterfly wings off her back as she's trying to save Larry, and she's like getting hit by his radiation, and she's like turning into a blob and trying to deal with it. Really great stuff in episode 3. I absolutely loved it. So let's go to episode 4, which was the Sex Patrol. Now, don't be turned off as dumb as this might sound, when the Dannyites, or the Dannysons, which is the Danny Street, arrive at Doom Manor to save Danny the brick. Danny turns into a brick. From season 1, he was a street. After the battle with Mr. Nobody and them trying to figure all that out, Danny turned into a brick. And they're trying to figure out how to make Danny come back to life as a street again. Flex Mentallo helps Rita release her mental block, and incidentally much more. And this episode is, don't be fooled, man. This episode is just absolutely hilarious. You get like a parody of the Ghostbusters. You get the joke again with Flex Mentallo able to cause orgasms by just flexing certain muscles. So, and you get like this crazy apocalyptic thing that happens in this one episode too. So all the Dannysons are coming, and they're like, well, how can we bring Danny back to life? What else can we do? Let's have a fucking party, right? So they're having a party inside the Doom Patrol's Doom Manor. Dorothy's in it a little bit, but she's not supposed to be. Her father tells her to go to bed. Candlemaker, the evil monster inside of her, is trying to come out all at the same time. Rita figures the way that she could get her powers back is if she could get rid of this mental block of her mother. You know, knowing that her mother was like having sex with directors, so Rita as a child could get roles and stuff. It was crazy. So she talks like she's talking to Flex Mentallo, and she's telling him like, can you do what you did in last season 1? And you know, because when you in season 1, like, he was asked to make everybody go inside the white space, and when he flexed the muscles, he flexed the wrong muscles, and he made like everybody in the town like have a crazy orgasm. It was hilarious. But she told Flex here that when she had that orgasm, she went completely like blank. And she believes that'll help her out with her powers and have more control of it, so she could be more like how she is in the comics, right? So here she is, like, she's alone with him in the room, and she's like, can you help me reach that? So he's focusing that flex, so just her in that room could have that ultimate orgasm. But it has consequences, which is hilarious. It attracts something called a sex demon. And this sex demon, as it, like, because the kind of orgasm that Flex is bringing out is like just so unnatural and so peak and like insane that the energy attracts like this weird sex demon. If I could find a picture of it somewhere, you know, I'll just type it in real quick. Doom Patrol sex demon. And the more I can't even find a good picture of it, I guess. Oh, whatever, you get the point. So there's the sex demon, as it's sucking up more of the energy and it's getting crazy. It's attracting like all these sex ghosts and stuff. So this like group of people get called in. I even forgot what they called themselves. It was really funny. But basically picture like Ghostbusters sex ghosts. Let me see if I can get a good picture of it. Yes, they're like the Sex Busters, right? I thought it was really funny. So, like, the ghosts that are in the house are, like, fucking. And, like, it's just all this crazy stuff happening. And you got to get, like, these Ghostbusters. And they're like, this is apocalyptic. This could end all of humanity. Because once this sex demon gathers all this energy, he gives birth to, like, this baby. And once the baby, like, makes a sound or cries, like, nobody is able to have children anymore. All the children will disappear. And it's like the end of the world, basically. And it's all happening because of Rita trying to have an orgasm to help her focus her powers. It's fucking hilarious. I'm not even doing the episode justice, man. Like, we were laughing our asses off in this episode, man. It was so funny. It was just so funny. And eventually they do defeat the sex demon. The sex demon does give birth to the demon baby. But Crazy Jane, like, shoves it up its ass and, like, kills it. And it goes away. So yeah, like, really funny stuff. Really funny stuff. Alright, so let's to episode 5. The Finger Patrol. Dorothy finds a friend in Crazy Jane's other personality, Baby Doll, while Vic looks to win Ronnie back. With Rita's help, Larry finally tries to break the ice with his family. Oh, this is the episode, I think, where Paul at the end betrays Larry, his father, I think. I gotta fix this webcam. I'm not crazy about this angle. I don't know. I had a better angle than this, and all of a sudden my angle sucks. Sorry, guys. And yes, I am wearing a Doom Patrol t-shirt. Doom Patrol FTW. So yeah, this was a really cool episode because this showed off more of what Dorothy is capable of, and she's like playing with Baby Jane, which is again, if you're not familiar, Crazy Jane has 64 personalities, and one of the personalities that she brings out in this episode to play with Dorothy is baby. What is it? Why am I'm just blanking on that. Baby doll. I keep saying Baby Jane in my head, but it's Baby doll. Basically, like a little baby acting like a 5-year-old, like annoying and playful, but it was good because she was trying to play with Dorothy in this a little bit. They're like playing with each other all over the place, and it's really funny. It's really funny. What's going on here with Cliff? I'm trying to remember what's happening with what's happening here. Oh, this is Cliff is trying to talk to Silas to check him out and try to fix him because Cliff is like he keeps freezing up in his arm and they think there's something wrong with his brain. And Silas is, I mean, he has a point. He says he doesn't want to be associated with what Niles did to Cliff, so he refuses to help Cliff because he doesn't want to be aiding and abetting a murder for Niles. But I think that's bullshit because it happened like in the 80s and now it's like 2019, and I don't think there's anything wrong with helping Cliff out. I mean, it's bullshit. This complete bullshit. Like, Silas is a dick. I mean, he comes off good. The actor, I mean, is great. I'm not saying like he plays Silas fantastic, and I think this is the best version you're gonna get on live action of like Cyborg and Silas. Like, way better in my opinion than Zack Snyder's version. As cool as the casting choice was for Zack Snyder's film, that's the same actor who was in Terminator 2 also long ago, who helped make he helped make Terminator technology, right? In Terminator 2, that actor. So he's a good actor, but the Zack Snyder version was boring. This is where it's at for Cyborg, in my opinion. But yeah, where was I on episode? All right, so here's just more Larry with his son Paul and trying to bridge a few gaps with that. He's with Rita, and Rita is like such a great support for Larry in this. Like they're so good together. Like they love each other in like a kind of a brother sister family way, but not in that other way because he's gay. But like they work so well together. Like, it's so great the way they work together. Oh, what was hilarious about this episode too? He's with the Vic, and he's like, Cyborg is like, I fucked up with Rena, the girl that he's dating, whatever her name is, and he's like, look, all you need to do, Vic, is just go up there, knock on the door, and tell her, look, I'm stupid, I fucked up, I'm sorry. And then, everything will be alright. And, like, Vic actually listens to Cliff, and it works. It works. It was hilarious. And, like, Cliff has, like, these hilarious dreams. He's like, oh, we should be, like, look, we should be, like, two teams together and fighting crime on the streets. And Vic is like, nah, that's not why I'm here. And we get these, like, hilarious shots of, I can't even find it. Where is it? What the hell? I can't find it. It's like, it should be right in here. We get like these like TV montages of Cliff imagining like being in a TV show as like him and Vic as detectives and stuff. It's like a 70s like TV show montage. Oh, here it is. Like starring Cliff Steele, and like it's got like this hilarious like 70s music. Yeah, there's Vic Stone. Like I was laughing so hard at this, dude. It was so fucking funny. Like, it was on target, bro. Like, the comedy is just on target for me on this show. Yeah, Steel and Stone, right? Like, I don't know which show are they referencing. You guys let me know. I'm not too keen on like cop shows from the 70s and 80s, but this was making me laugh really hard. So to any of you who know like what were they referencing here? And there was another like TV montage. I don't know if they did it in this episode of the. There was like another funny TV montage that they eventually do. Might have been the next episode. But yeah, dude, it was so funny, man, so funny. But yeah, this actress Rita, like I'm sticking with this. Like, dude, this cast of people and how they act with each other is what we should be getting from Fantastic Four family dynamics and in live action. Like, I was saying this when I started this channel for Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four is too complicated with the family dynamics to just be a movie. It needs to be like Doom Patrol, like it has to be a TV series. I don't understand why nobody has figured out that Fantastic Four needs to be a TV series. But I digress. I'm going off kilter here. But I'm just trying to say that these cast of characters, this Doom Patrol, this is how I feel that Fantastic Four should be. Not like the dark parts and all that. I'm saying, you get what I'm saying. You know, and obviously Doom Patrol was like a flip on the Fantastic Four when it was made at the time. But yeah, what was I trying to... I can't skip over the big thing that happens in this episode if I could find it. Like, Dorothy does something really bad in this episode to Baby Doll. She kills Baby Doll, basically. Baby Doll is kind of antagonizing her because she's acting like a little child, and she's being a jerk to Dorothy. And Dorothy is like, they're in the basement at one point playing, and fucking Dorothy was hiding in the furnace for some reason, and fucking Baby Doll locks her in the furnace and puts the fucking fire on, like she's about to kill Dorothy. You know, so like you can't really blame Dorothy for fucking... Like, let me get the shots here. You see me scrolling through it, but there's Dorothy right there. She's in the fucking furnace, right? And fucking Baby Doll puts the fucking fire on. Like, why? Like, she's psycho. You know, so we learned that Baby Doll is not just like a child crazy personality. Like, fucking you don't give her what she wants. Like, she goes fucking demonic, right? So Candlemaker is inside of Dorothy's head. He's like, we must do something about this. Make a wish, Dorothy. Make a wish. And Dorothy makes a wish. And Candlemaker, there's the shot where she's making the wish. The candle like comes out of her hand. It's really fucking cool, dude. Like Dorothy's thing with Candlemaker is like Bleach level stuff, like anime level stuff, like Hollow Demon, like trying to come out like, make a wish, kill Baby Doll. And so she makes the wish, and then they show you this really sick scene where Candlemaker literally enters in the underground of... there he is. He goes inside of Crazy Jane's mind, her underground where all the personalities dwell, and he kills the fire personality, and then he fucking kills Baby Doll inside the... You know, he kills the person... He doesn't kill Crazy Jane, the body, and all the other personalities, but he kills Baby Doll, and it's really fucking cool. So like it shows you like what the hell this is. But yeah, there he is fighting like the fire personality. Where else is this? Trying to find a shot here. It's the same shot. I have the MP4 files on a hard drive of this, but I don't feel like plugging that in and finding it right now. But yeah, dude, like it's some really good stuff in this, and like obviously Dorothy feels terrible after the fact in the next episode, which we will go over. I know it's a lot, but none of you have watched Doom Patrol, like at least you're getting it from me a little bit, and maybe it might make you say like, hey, maybe I could look past some of the stuff that might turn me off, and I could find like a lot of good stuff in here. But for me personally, like this is 100% show. I'm enjoying everything about it. There's not a single moment I'm not liking it. Alright, so then episode 6 was the Space Patrol. Niles' old research team returns from space and Dorothy goes missing. This is a really funny episode. Like literally this like weird team of people come from space that Niles knew. Like in the 50s and 60s they got lost and all of a sudden they came out of nowhere. Yeah, like here Larry sees the spaceship coming to this place, and let me just try to find it. Yeah, there they are. These are the astronauts, and we find out this woman here, she has the same condition that Larry has. She has a negative spirit attached to her, but unlike Larry, she mastered it. She's not irradiated, and she's in total control of herself and of the negative spirit. And she did it in like 5 years, like after she even left the Earth, right? And Larry has been like this way for like 40, 50 years without changing. So she kind of gives him a few tips. He doesn't like her at first, but then he sees her points. So yeah, anyway, also there's a part where Dorothy is so fucking like angry at herself for killing Baby Doll. But honestly, she had a right to defend herself. Maybe she couldn't have. She didn't have to kill Baby Doll, but I mean, dude, Baby Doll put her in a furnace. Like, I don't know what else would she have done. But she feels so guilty about it that Niles has the spaceship that came down in this episode. She goes in it. She goes to the moon, and she's like basically self-loathing and being depressed. Right? It's really funny. I think it's really cute how they do it here. What's going on there? I'm trying to remember. I can't remember every detail. So Niles convinces Cliff to go up into the moon and to talk Dorothy back to Earth. And they go to Earth, and it's Cliff who manages to, you know, console Dorothy and eventually convince her to come to the ship and bring her back. If you want to know all the details of it, you got to watch the episode, but I'm just giving you the overall, gist of it. Oh, and this is when Rita is like trying to join like this community theater service, and it's called The Town, and she finds out like as she's like auditioning that it's like the town that was attacked in season 1, and they're blaming it all on the Blob Lady, who's Rita. And this girl who's like playing the Blob Lady is talking to Rita about, oh well, I think the Blob Lady is this and that, and she's like breaking her down, and Rita's like, well, actually no, it's not the father that she's always looking for affirmation for, it's the mother. And the actress is like, oh yeah, that's great, I'll add that to the script. Like it's really funny how they're talking in these scenes. I'm telling you, dude, this is a missed show. I don't hear anybody talking about it. It's so funny. So like, here's the really nice moment where Cliff talks Dorothy back down to Earth. But the crazy part is, Niles is obviously figuring that Dorothy is too dangerous, and he has to kill her. It's fucking nuts, man. What they try to do, and what happens is, let me see if I can get it. So, the chief is talking to Niles is talking to Cliff, and Cliff is like, Chief, you're an asshole, but I could get used to, being family for Dorothy. You know what? Sign me up, Chief. I want to be here for Dorothy, and we'll all be a supporting family for Dorothy. And Chief is like, well, Cliff, you have no idea how much that means to my heart. And then he's like, but unfortunately, and he fucking opens the space door, and Cliff goes fucking flying out of space, and he crashes down to Earth like in the next episode. But it's like, what the fuck, man? Like, it's such a heartwarming moment, and Niles like shoots him off into the shuttle. It's like, oh man, dude, what a show. What a show, man. I just absolutely love this show. Alright, so let me go to the next episode. Episode 7. The Dumb Patrol. The Doom Patrol embraces their inner morons after receiving a mysterious package. Hold on, let me just wait for this to go on. Honestly, my brain is like off right now. I'm trying to remember this one. Oh, this is where the personality that supposedly killed itself inside of Jane, Miranda, comes back into light. And obviously it's an evil personality, right? But they make it like she's so nice. Everybody loves this version of Jane. And this, inside the underground, like, this personality is like taking over and making the other personalities disappear, but they don't suspect her yet. I suspected her the whole time. Cliff landed on Earth, and he's like all alone, like walking, trying to get back home, and he like freezes up at one point, and it's so hilarious, man. So hilarious. You know what? I think I'm getting tired. Let me try to rush this up a little bit. Yeah, just Rita talking about her theater thing and all the venom she holds for her mother. But then this woman she's talking to, who's a mother, tells her, maybe as bad as it was what your mother did, she did it for you because she loved you, even though it was bad. Stuff like that. So, oh, this is some crazy stuff that I can't even go over what happens here. Oh, right, right. So there's like these pink little bugs that's in the box. That's why it's called Dumb Patrol. And they're like, once they're inside your brain, every stupid idea that comes to mind, you're like gonna do it. And even if it like destroys you and brings you to suicide, and it like makes you stupid, and it's these bugs are controlled by this queen, and the only way to stop it is to kill the queen. And they do all these tricks to stop it, and they kill the queen. It's a funny episode. I'm just getting tired, so forgive me. Um, and let me just go through this a bit. I'm trying to jolt my memory. Alright, so this is where Niles is talking to the magician. He he goes back to the Yukon, and he's trying to talk to the woman that he was in love with, the Neanderthal woman. Be like, why is this happening to Dorothy? And then he finds out basically that this is the tribe's curse. And he's like, why would you do such a thing to Dorothy? And they make you think that Dorothy is here to end the world. And it's the tribe's vengeance or something against the world for forgetting about them and for them going extinct. But actually, it just turns out basically that the Candlemaker is Dorothy's like the woman that he fell in love with, the Neanderthal woman. She had this giant wild dog beast that she had with her, and she tamed it. And I think Candlemaker was basically like that version for Dorothy, and she's not supposed to kill it, and she's not supposed to let it take over the world and kill everybody. She's supposed to dominate it and tame it, so it's like becoming one with it. But they're all misinterpreting the situation where like she's supposed to bring the end of the world, but she's not. But so they're scared that Dorothy is going to bring the end of the world. He makes the deal with the magician that tomorrow we're going to do what we have to do, and however they're thinking of killing her, they're going to kill Dorothy. But before they kill Dorothy, Niles, because he loves her, it's his daughter, he wants to bring her to like a carnival and stuff. And I'll just read this here. Jane sets out to prove her worth. Cliff goes into dad mode, and Niles devotes a day to Dorothy, who's finally growing up. And episode 9. Before the Doom Patrol can answer a call to save the world, they must first battle long-forgotten imaginary friends. And season 2 ends on a bad cliffhanger. But yeah, basically, episode 8, Cliff goes into dad mode. With who, though? I don't remember. Niles devotes a day to Dorothy, which is the whole carnival thing. What happens? Dad mode. Clara comes to visit Cliff because she got in the mail the VHS tape from the chief explaining that, he basically killed Cliff years ago and turned him into a robot, a brain inside of a robot. And she came to the mansion, and she wants him to be a part of her life, invites her to a wedding. They're talking to each other. It's some beautiful stuff. But the greatest part about this episode, actually, is Jane. I'm going to try to find some images of it. Fuck it. Jane is the primary of her underground for a reason. The little girl inside the personality that they're all protecting wants her to go and find Harry, which is a doll inside of the well. So Jane goes back to the actual well that she used to be forced to go into by her abusive father. She goes with Larry, she finds the doll, and she finds a letter about like Miranda and stuff, so she learns more about Miranda. But we basically find out that the new personality, Miranda, that's acting like she's supposed to save everyone, she ends up being pretty fucking dangerous. They find out that the real Miranda did kill herself inside of the well in the underground, and that all of the evil trauma and what the father did manifest into this demonic Miranda that tries to not just take over Jane's body, but she tries to get Jane to kill herself, to hang herself. And they're having like this amazing like battle inside of Jane's mind, where Jane is trying to get out of her mind through a plane, and all the personalities are trying to help her against the evil demonic Miranda, and she wins out. She wins out. Oh, and there's this really great like flashback that shows you why Miranda actually killed herself, the personality, I mean. So when she was still in control of Jane's body, she was dating this guy that she met, and it was like the 60s, and it was like the sexual revolution stuff, and she fell in love with this guy. They moved into an apartment, and he's becoming corporate and shit, and he invites his friends from the job and all of these like people, and they like have an orgy. And then he tells, Miranda or Crazy Jane that, you can have sex with this guy, I'll have sex with her, and blah blah blah, free love, and this is all so we could grow and be better. And she has like this really great speech, like, because she doesn't like it. But what happens is Miranda fails, because Miranda gives in to the degeneracy, basically, and the personalities bring her back in, and they're like, "You're done. You're done. This is not what Kay wants. You're not doing her good." And so Miranda like goes deep down into the well, deep down into the personality to talk to the little girl. That's really the main person, and the little girl is like shuts the door on her face, and Miranda, she kills herself into the well. So we get the origin story of why that personality deleted itself in the first place, because she gave in to these like things that were wrong. And that's when this is when Jane comes in. So we learn the origins of Crazy Jane, how she came to be born. So that was where she came in. So, during the orgy, when Crazy Jane finally comes out, right? She comes out, and all the naked people are there because she had like a stroke. They thought she had a stroke, but it was Miranda killing herself, and then the new personality, Jane, coming to fruition. I'm not doing this justice. You have to watch the show to understand this, what I'm saying. You're probably semi-understanding what I'm saying, but if you watch the show, you'll see the brilliance of it. In my opinion, I think it's brilliant. So Jane comes out, and she like fucking gives a great speech about, this isn't about freedom. This isn't about sexual freedom or love or anything. This is the same old bullshit. This is about control. This is about this. This is about that. You bitches are just opening your legs up so these guys could fuck you. And you guys just want to fuck another pussy. That's all. You don't want to love. This is not, right. So she has like it's like a real condemnation on like the sexual revolution of the time. I thought it was pretty fucking cool. I really loved it. I mean, of course, it's much deeper than what I'm saying. But yeah, it's really, really brilliant this season. Some of the stuff that they stuck in there. So yeah. Eventually the Doom Patrol has to come and save Dorothy, but they don't save Dorothy. They all end up getting like covered in wax by Candlemaker. And it's only up to Dorothy to face the Candlemaker. And her mother comes and visit her as a spirit and tells her like, this is your time. You have to do what you have to do. And like there's the scene where Dorothy has like this weapon that she made with her mind, and there's Candlemaker like, come, face your destiny, child. And he sucks her into like the fire. And Niles thinks she's dead, but obviously she's not. I'm like, oh no, she's not dead. He just sucked her into another dimension, and she has to face him. So that brings you like to the final episode. And some great acting too, like with Dorothy seeing the Doom Patrol all covered in wax, all the destruction, everything that she was responsible for. So she comes to the conclusion that, no, I'm not supposed to fight you, Candlemaker. We were friends all these years. You did all these things for me. You protected me. I want us to be friends again. I want us to do the right thing, all that kind of stuff. And Candlemaker gives in. And because I think that was actually the true purpose. Like, Candlemaker was supposed to be just her partner. Like how her mother had the wild beast as her partner, like protecting her whole life. But like obviously the tribe they knew that they had some cultural tradition of how they were supposed to conquer and tame these familiars that were passed down generation to generation. And the wild wildebeest. I forgot to mention the wild beast that was given to her by her mother, Nanny, that was with her. That beast was killed by Baby Doll, so that was another thing that triggered Dorothy to murder Baby Doll. But yeah, dude, like, I'm not doing this show justice, and it's a lot to go over, so forgive me if I sound like I'm getting a little tired and I'm glossing over a lot of stuff. Like, I mean, there's a lot of details, man, because these are like, look, 46-minute episode, 56, 48. Like, they are very well-packed episodes, and man, dude, Season 3 is now a whole other beast to talk about, and, I need a break from the talking about it. And Season 3, one of the episodes, which I will talk about in the next, another video, completely cured me of my depression and feeling really dark. No joke. Like, I'm not even saying that to be a meme. But that'll be a subject for another time, my friends. Now, if you stood here this long, I commend you. Thank you. And please, please, let me know in the comments what you thought of Season 2 if you watched it. Please tell me your thoughts on the Doom Patrol. Why you like it, why you don't like it. Like, talk in the comments, guys. Come on, you guys are not doing it. No one's talking anymore. You're leaving it all to me. That's fine. I mean, I'm good. I could talk to myself for ages. No problem. But damn, it'd be nice to see a few people talk about it. But hey, whatever. Like and subscribe, guys. Have a good rest of your night. Thank you again.